Hi, Drew. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Oh, I just had a comment to make that there is an answer to that I have found in my life to solving this problem of emasculating our husbands and men, and it really starts with the woman. Just how Eve brought down her husband. We do have quite power in our hands, and I found that through scriptural wifely obedience, no one likes the word anymore, but it's really just respect and elevating our husband, showing him respect, which models to the children that they are to respect their fathers and us. And I really found that helps my husband to take on his leadership role in society. And it has also saved my marriage because in Scripture, you know how God told the man to love his wife, and he told the woman to obey her husband. And I found that it's through obedience. And I don't think men understand this, but I know that women, when they look at their hearts, most of the time when I speak to them, they agree with me. When we obey, which means respect, our husband, love flows through that. It just comes naturally, and I feel that's why the Father told us to obey, because he really is just telling us to love. But that is how we learn to love our husband.
And the other aspect of Sue, that scripture quote, of course, is that husbands must love their wives like Christ loves his church, and Christ loved his church so much that he spread his arms out and died for us. So it's a very sacrificial love as well. It's an interesting point, Doctor. Let me let you respond to Sue and her comments.
Well, Sue, I think there has been such a fear drummed into women, especially young women, for the last couple of decades, that they're going to be oppressed somehow by their mate, by their male partner, that there is just an unwillingness even to use common sense when it comes to gender roles. And I think, too, from the male perspective, what we see is the men are being bombarded with visions of manhood which leave them really quite confused. I mean, what does the media tell men that they are? The media tells them that they are either supposed to be really quite brutish, they're supposed to be brawny and built and looks obsessed, or they're supposed to be a kind of wimpy, liberal, sensitive, empathic, politically correct male. So I think in many cases what we see is this confusion among men compounded by the fear that women have that somehow they're going to be oppressed, and we have a society that is in complete chaos. And when you talk about obeying the man or respecting him, I think all these words are great words, and I think they also have to be put in the larger context of both parties trying to discover what is the divine will for themselves, but not just as individuals. What is the divine will for themselves based on the specific gender that they've been given? It's a challenge for every single man and woman out there.
Well, that's such a great point. Hey, Sue, thank you for your call. I appreciate it. I got to leave it right there. And, of course, you talk about the role or the unique mission that men have today. And that you say in your article the mission contains a specific gender role of serving and protecting the family, defending the core values of his community and nation, and having a high regard for future generation. Hence, a Christian gentleman uses his brawn and his brains for a higher social cause, not merely to satisfy his vanity, greed, or lust. And a Christian gentleman is primarily concerned with others rather than obsessed himself. And that's such a great summary, Doctor, because I think any man listening should probably read your article and see how he fits, that particular criteria there.
Well, thank you, Drew, for saying that, because really when you examine what men are being told, they're either being told, as I said, to be politically correct and wimpy, or what we're seeing, too, is a backlash, because there's a whole slew of men's magazines that are emerging, and that image of manhood is really degrading. And what that is saying is, love cars, chase women, watch porn, watch sports, and be a Neanderthal. And there is nobody out there exemplifying another alternative altogether. It's not a wimp and it's not a brute. It's the Christian gentleman, the man who knows his role within his family, within his community, and within his nation, and who fulfills his private role and his public role with assertiveness, with confidence, with self-discipline, and with love and gentleness. And truly, it is St. Joseph. If you look carefully at his life, he exemplified all of that beautifully. I don't think there's anybody out there that would say that St. Joseph wasn't all man. He was all man, but he wasn't a brute, and he wasn't a politically correct, wimpy male. He was something else. He was the Christian gentleman. And one of the things, too, I want to underscore, though, is that the liberals will say that these roles are very confining. It's not true. Within the realm of being a Christian gentleman, there's so many alternatives. As we see, Brother Andre was a brother. St. Joseph led a family, and they were both remarkable men.
My guest today, Dr. Grace Vuoto. Go to EdmundBurkeInstitute.org and click on Our Graceful Heritage. Download this article. Share it with your family. It really is a must-read. I'm Drew Mariani, back with more in just a moment.